Dominic by William Steig, 13. Dominic was so happy he whipped out his piccolo and played allegro tempo. How lovely everything looked. He was filled with adoration for the visible world. Ah, what splendid red roses there on that bush in the road. He sniffed them eagerly, but smelled nothing, and thump, he bumped into a painting. The artist, a wee mouse, was rolling on the ground laughing. Dominic sat up and touched the painting. He felt like he could pick a rose off the bush, and yet it was nothing but paint and canvas. He looked at the mouse in wonder. The little creator had cobalt blue on his mustache, cadmium yellow on his foot, and phthalo green on the seat of his overalls. "Did you paint this?" Dominic asked. "Yes," said the mouse with obvious pride. "You're a clever artist," said Dominic. "I was really fooled, but why is your painting standing here in the road?" "Allow me to introduce myself," said the mouse. "My name is Manfred Lion. Fine name for a mouse, isn't it?" "I'm Dominic," said Dominic. They shook paws, and Dominic enjoyed the delicacy of Manfred Lion's touch. "To answer your question," the mouse went on, "I love to paint in this trompe-l'œil style. Everything is so beautiful just as it is that I pay my respects to life by painting things just as they are. Some of my brushes have but a single hair in them, which I get from my own eyebrows, and with my sharp eyes I can see and paint the finest details, every vein in every leaf, the highlight of a drop of dew, the hair on the legs of a gnat. I know the work of a very great artist, an elephant. He can't paint detail. He has neither the ability nor the patience. In any case, I put my painting in the road just now to test its verisimilitude, to assure myself that my skill is as great as I suspect it is." "I assure you that it is," said Dominic. "I'll admit my eyesight is not as keen as my sense of smell. What is? Still, I've never been so fooled by a painting before. If one goes by this sort of standard, you are as fine an artist as ever lived." Dominic could hardly believe such highfalutin talk was coming out of his own yap. When he got over being impressed with himself, he continued, "But everywhere I look, I see beauty. If I can see a landscape just as lovely as one painted by Manfred Lion only by looking out my window, why would I want to own a painting done in that style? It's the same as what I can see wherever I turn." "I've considered that," said the mouse, "and this is my answer. When the landscape is covered in snow, can you see leaves? In the midst of a dreary winter, when you are longing for spring, you can look at the daffodils in a painting of mine and be confident that there is such a season as spring, and that it will come again. When you are suffering an excessive summer heat, you can encourage yourself by looking at a cold winter landscape painted by Manfred Lion. You can keep in a sort of contact with an absent friend or loved one through a portrait by me. Anyway, I dislike theorizing. I'd rather paint than think. Painting is fun, but thinking hurts my brains." He scratched the base of his tail, depositing a touch of verisimilitude there. "I get the point," said Dominic. "Thank you for explaining." "Do you mind helping me straighten up my painting?" said the mouse. "I used those ropes hanging from that pulley," and he pointed to the limb of a tree overhead. Dominic pushed the painting into its original upright position without the help of the ropes, and propped it up from behind with some sticks. The mouse pointed out. Back to the old drawing board," he joked, picking up his tiny brushes. Dominic laughed. "I think I'll be hitting the road," he said. "So long," and he was off with his lance on his shoulder, his bandana swinging from it and gold jingling in his pocket. How did the world ever manage without me before I was born, he wondered. Didn't they feel something was missing? A little farther down the road, he was accosted by a large group of rabbits. There they were, standing in the road, obviously waiting for this particular individual, him, Dominic, to turn up, and they were not a painting. The one who was to be their spokesman, was too shy for the part. He had to be pushed by the others and stood timidly in front, his mustache trembling. Dominic, with customary directness, rushed right up to the group. That didn't help. The spokesman lost the power of speech. "Greetings," said Dominic. "You are obviously waiting for me and wish to say something." This loosened the rabbit's tongue. "Oh, yes," he said. "I would like to make a statement." "Then speak," said Dominic. Dominic," said the rabbit. "Your reputation is spreading hereabouts. Everyone knows how you've been tangling with the Doomsday hooligans and getting the best of them. We all know about your courage and your powerful lance. Those villains have been terrorizing us. We fear for our lives and worry about our property. They despise us so much they've assigned just a weasel and a stoat to plague us. And those two manage very well. We need protection and would like you to be our protector. We can pay." Dominic was touched and also flattered at this expression of confidence in his prowess. But the rabbit's fearfulness made him uncomfortable. In a way, he respected the members of the Doomsday Gang more than he respected the rabbits. The Doomsday Gang were sometimes cowards too, but they also had plenty of brass. He found himself telling a lie almost against his will. "I'm sorry, but much as I'd like to help you, I'm already late for an appointment 10 miles away." The rabbits looked so disappointed that Dominic felt a twinge of reluctant compassion. "I have an idea," he said, and he told them about Manfred Lyon, the artist he had just met down the road. "Get Mr. Lyon to paint a picture of some of you browsing in clover. Set traps in front of the picture and then hide somewhere. If Manfred Lyon's painting can fool me, it will fool your weasel and stoat. And when you have them in traps, you can dispose of them as you please. I'm sorry I can't stay to see the results. I really must be on my way. Good day to you all." "Won't you please reconsider?" asked the spokesman. "No." "We'll pay you well," said another rabbit. "I'm sorry," said Dominic. "Then I guess we'll try your plan," said the spokesman. "Thank you ever so much for the suggestion." "Not at all." And Dominic went on his way without waiting to see if his plan worked. Here briefly is what happened. The rabbits, who already knew Manfred Lyon, found him quickly and offered him a large sum of money plus 2 sacks of carrots to paint the picture as Dominic described it. Money or no, the artist was only too happy for a chance to test his skill in this interesting way, and to see the villains suffer as a result. After making sketches of several rabbits, he painted the picture in a few days, working at night too, by the light of a kerosene lamp and candles. The weasel and the stoat were thoroughly deceived by the picture, creeping up on the painted rabbits, eating their painted clover. They somehow failed to notice that the rabbits didn't move, perhaps because they were so intent on what appeared to be an easy success. There were enough traps to catch dozens of victims, so inevitably they were caught. The rabbits, in large numbers, bound the weasel and stoat in chains before releasing them from the traps and carried them to a granary they had converted into a prison while the mouse was painting. Timid creatures incapable of cruelty, the rabbits were unable to inflict punishment. They planned to rehabilitate the stoat and the weasel, to teach them the unwisdom of evil and gradually to inculcate them into their sentiments of pity, mercy, charity, and love, and they told them so. It might have worked, but the stoat and the weasel were not interested in learning this new point of view. They thought such decency was based only on fear, and as soon as the sun went down and the rabbits had finished lecturing and left them alone, they picked the locks and made their escape. Not many days afterwards, they got there just deserts. Manfred Lyon was disappointed to hear of the prison break, but he was satisfied that his painting had served the cause of justice, and he felt free to boast about it now and then. And that's the end of chapter 13.